you know, this Matrix demo. I would call this a glance into the future. So, if you have a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, try this demo with the De-Judder option that I showed on my previous video, because this demo is running on 30 frames per second on console, and that doesn't look smooth at all, 30 frames. But if you try this, if you have an LG CX, C1, or C2, you can try this, or or the G series, basically GX, G1, or G2. You can try this True Motion user selection and bump up the De-Judder, not the De-Blur. That's not gonna do anything. Just bump up the De-Judder, and what that's going to do is create frames. So you're going to get a 120 frames look on that 30 frames game. So the input lag is gonna be bad. It's gonna be very, very bad, actually. But you're going to get a glance into the future. So you're going to see smoothness with an amazing lighting. So this Unreal Engine demo on PC is not optimized at all. It's just raw, and it has shader compilation stutters. So you see, still, it's stuttering because you need to play it for a while until it caches all the shaders, and then it will be smooth. But it gives you a glance into the future. So for me, this is not the best experience I can get on my PC, because I can use G-Sync HDR. That's gonna be the best experience. G-Sync is going to smooth out all the stuttering and all the frame pacing issues. But the reason why I'm trying that De-Judder and playing at 30 frames per second is because on PC there is actually an option. The lighting on this Unreal Engine 5, that's everything. So that's the big difference, the lighting. So of course you have that incredible draw distance, but the most impressive thing that this Unreal Engine 5 has is the lighting. So there is a setting on PC that you can push the lighting from 3 to 4. So basically 3 is the maximum lighting quality that you're supposed to get, and on that setting is extremely demanding. Like I have a 3080 12 gigabytes with a 3800 X3D, very fast RAM, 3600, and I cannot get at 4K. I basically average 40 frames. I know that can be a lot better, and this is poorly optimized. But optimization means basically trying to reduce, the processing power required for things that you're not actually seeing. But yeah, just caring about the raw performance that you can get on PC, it is very demanding. It's extremely demanding. So what I'm doing is basically taking a look into the future here, because there's not going to be any games in at least 3-4 years, I would say, that are going to utilize Unreal Engine 5 with that setting in 5, that lighting quality in 4, I mean, because that 4 quality is used for movies, basically. So what I'm talking about here, let's see if you can understand. The lighting quality on the Unreal Engine 5 has a game focus setting maximum, which is 3, and it has a movie setting. So it is not supposed to be for real time rendering. It's supposed to be used for movies, okay? So that setting is extremely demanding. With a 3080 at 4K, I am averaging 20 to 30 frames with that setting, and even less than that. So it is crazy demanding. So what I can do is I can use NVIDIA image scaling and use 1080p at 30 hertz, and then use the TV with De-Judder to give me the smoothness, to give me that quality, a smooth look. So it doesn't feel smooth, it feels very laggy. I mean, the input lag is terrible, but it looks smooth. It looks very smooth. And yeah, it's a glance into the future, because I'm gonna be able to see 4K with this smoothness like 4 years from now. So I'm gonna keep this raw, unoptimized demo and I will see how this looks 5 years from now. It's gonna look amazing. It doesn't really matter at all, because this is not a game I'm gonna play, but it's a demo. It's a tech demo. It's a nice tech demo. So if I turn off De-Judder here, it's gonna be terrible. It's terrible. It's unplayable. It's basically 1080p with a lot of blur. But yeah, I think this kind of technology on the TV, see, if I turn this down, terrible. I cannot play that. But if I turn it off, it's gonna look smooth. It looks amazing. It's smooth, super smooth. So I think in the future also, for console gaming, if the processing of the TV gets good enough, you might be able to get this result with an acceptable input lag. There's always gonna be an input lag, because basically the TV is creating frames that don't exist. That's what's going on here. So I think that in the future, these TVs can get good enough so you can play on a console and have a PC-like experience. I mean, you can already do it, it's just the input lag is too bad. But if they improve this technique, so it has no artifacts, no visible artifacts, it is called soap opera effect. Soap opera effect. That's the name of the artifact that you get using this De-Judder setting. To be honest, I can barely see it. I can barely. So that artifact, you can see it in a scene like this, where you can see, you can watch the cars going, right, left to right on the screen, and I don't see any. Yeah, I see a little bit of jumpiness sometimes, but I don't know if that's the. Yeah, the frame rate is rock solid. Yeah, so that jumpiness, yeah, that's the soap opera effect. So I'm sure, like 3-4 years from now, TVs are gonna get better with that technique. Already the LG C2 is a big difference in quality on this technique. If you are interested in this technique, get the LG C2. It's gonna be a lot better. I saw a review from Classy. He is a TV calibrator. I'm watching his channel. He knows a lot about OLEDs and calibration and all of that. And on his review of the LG C2, he was showing the difference between the C1 and the C2 on that De-Judder motion quality, and it's a big difference. So I'm sure, 3-4 years from now, this technique is gonna be so good for console gaming. It's gonna be amazing. Like if I can get no artifacts and being able to get a little bit of better input lag, that would allow me to enjoy something like this better, because there's no way my PC can, or any PC in the world right now, no PC can get 60 frames on this demo, let alone 60 frames with that lighting quality on the maximum. Impossible, absolutely impossible. And the next generation of GPUs coming, they are not gonna be able to give you that experience either. I mean, this engine is CPU bound actually, so the CPU utilization at 30 frames, this is a 5800 X3D. The CPU is being used 64%, 55, 66. So, and it's actually being bottleneck in frequency. So that's at 30 frames. So this is impossible to get 60. So on the CPU side, I would say 2 generations from now you can get 60 on this demo, and on the GPU side, 2 generations you can get 60 with the lighting quality on 3. But for the lighting quality on 4, that's gonna be like three generations at least. So yeah, it does look impressive. This lighting quality, the draw distance, it looks impressive. But I would not play this. Too much input lag, too low of a resolution. This is basically 1080p scaled to 4K. So yeah, it's not good enough. But it's a glance into the future. The lighting is impressive. It's the most realistic lighting I've seen. But a game like Metro Exodus looks better.